Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, when it comes to mosquitoes, there's good news and not so good news so far this summer.
What's behind an effort to recall North Dakota's governor and lieutenant governor?
And what we can tell you about a reported child being hit by a vehicle in Trail County. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
Mosquito counts are down across the Red River Valley, but officials say the early June heat wave and dry conditions could elevate the risk of West Nile virus.
Valley News Team's JC Dodd updates efforts to keep mosquito-borne illnesses in check.
Mosquitoes thrive in humid conditions, and so far this summer we've seen the opposite. While that sounds good, Cass County Vector Control says there's an increased chance for West Nile virus.
There is some relationship between, below average rainfall and increased West Nile virus circulating in the communities. And once those conditions started popping up, those temperatures and the rainfall profiles started kind of indicating that we might start seeing some challenges ahead. That's when we started sampling.
With the small amounts of rainfall we've seen the past few weeks, mosquitoes are gathering wherever there's standing water.
As things dry up like this, it kind of forces birds and mosquitoes to kind of go to those limited watering areas. So that's kind of where you tend to see more of West Nile transferring between bird populations.
And the warmer it is,
the faster you're going to see mosquitoes reproduce.
Cass County Vector Control is testing mosquito samples every day and screening for any indication of West Nile virus. But so far, Prather says it's been a quiet start to the season.
We're not alarmed at this stage, but again, we're seeing some of those climactic indicators that potentially could be, problematic as we move ahead into July.
Now, Prather says not to be worried just yet, but the best way to decrease the likelihood of mosquito breeding grounds is to clear standing water like wheelbarrows, kiddie pools, bird baths, and buckets like this one every 10 days.
That's something that we're just going to have to wait and see and let the science tell us what kinds of risks we have moving ahead.
In West Fargo, JC Dodd, Valley News Live.
I want to do this kind of.
So far this season, Cass County Vector Control has tested 13 pools of mosquitoes and were all negative for West Nile virus. There are no plans currently for evening adult mosquito spraying.
Just as Hutch said we would, we dealt with heat and wind today. So let's find out what we can expect tonight. Hutch?
Andrea, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. We do have some storms now moving through as a cold front is punching through. Look at temperatures. 73 Langdon. That's the cool air moving in from the north. Hallock, you've cooled off, as has Roseau. Down to the south, though, 97. Jamestown, Oaks, 95. And it's still 87 here in Fargo after topping 90 degrees today. Thunder and lightning as the storms are moving east at a very good clip, 40 miles per hour. They've moved over Lake of the Woods, heading into Badette now, and these are falling apart a little bit near Badette, so that's some good news, although the rain much needed. Not everyone is going to see it. Grigla storms exiting toward the Red Lakes area, again at 40 miles per hour. It'll be about an hour before they get to the western shores. Thief River Falls, y'all will want to brace for some thunder, lightning, brief heavy rain moving right into town and into the Plummer and Red Lake Falls areas here shortly. St. Hilaire also will see quite a bit of heavy rain and thunder lightning. These storms pass through the Grand Forks area, providing a much needed shower there. They're heading in toward Crookston now, and we'll continue to track these cells as they work their way through. Will Fargo see storms tonight? Well, there'll be a chance, but it looks a little bit later as we go beyond the dinner hour. Temperatures will be falling as wind it shifts and becomes northerly tonight. That's going to bring cooler air for the close of our work week. We'll track these storms, have your forecast here in a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. There's a new push in North Dakota to recall the governor. Today, North Dakota's Secretary of State approved the collection of signatures that could lead to the recall election of both Governor Doug Burgum and Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford. The petition group is accusing the governor of contempt of the voters and negligence in office. Now, the chairman of the recall committee is Michael Coachman. Coachman challenged Burgum for the Republican nomination for governor in 2020, but lost. Burgum defeated him by nearly 80% in the primary.
A small North Dakota town is shaken up tonight after an accident left a 4-year-old girl injured and rushed to a Fargo hospital. It happened Tuesday afternoon just before 4 in rural Blanchard near Hillsboro after officials say a trailer hit and possibly ran over the young girl on private property.
Anytime it's any age, any child, no one should have to go through that.
The Trail County Sheriff's Office says at this time no criminal charges have been filed as the incident appears to be an accident. Officials were not able to provide a condition update on the young girl. Roberg says the entire community and surrounding areas are praying for her full recovery.
We now know the name of the man who was charged with DUI after crashing a stolen car on Interstate 29 last night. He was identified by authorities as Brandon Booth. Investigators say he was speeding on I-29 when he suddenly veered toward the Main Avenue exit. He lost control of the car and hit a concrete support beam. Booth was ejected from the vehicle and was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, but is listed tonight in stable condition.
A Canadian man has pleaded guilty to transporting 67 illegal guns in a rented truck that was pulled over on I-94 in northwestern Minnesota. Earlier this year, authorities say the 29-year-old was a passenger in a truck that was pulled over near Fergus Falls for driving close to 100 miles per hour. A search of the truck found a bag of guns. Court documents state that man who was arrested faces several charges, including being in the country illegally and for murder in Canada.
The employer of a man who was run over by a forklift has been cited by state regulators and fined $25,000. Authorities say the 45-year-old man who was working at the Enbridge Energy Site 3 in northern Minnesota was standing behind the forklift when it backed over him. The company plans on contesting the citation.
As gun-related crimes are on the rise in parts of the U.S., President Joe Biden unveils a new public safety strategy. He's planning to sign executive actions linked to gun crimes and is calling on Congress to start enacting new control laws.
It's zero tolerance for gun dealers who willfully violate key existing laws and regulations. Let me repeat, zero tolerance. If you willfully sell a gun to someone who's prohibited from possessing it, if you willfully fail to run a background check, if you willfully falsify a record, if you willfully fail to cooperate with the tracing request or inspections, my message to you is this: we'll find you.
Homicide rates in numerous major cities surged last year, and officials say that trend is likely to continue in 2021. There were 10 mass shootings in 9 states last weekend. At least 7 people were killed and dozens injured.
West Fargo continues to work on improving and enhancing the North Cheyenne Street Corridor project. Some of that includes replacing aging infrastructure, including water mains, sanitary sewer, and storm sewers. Streetscaping will be added to strengthen the area's appeal and improve walkability. These improvements will include new concrete, curb and gutter, and diagonal and parallel parking. The total cost of this project is more than $10 million. That includes construction, utility relocations, and consulting for starters, coming from capital improvement and economic development sales tax with revenues from water and sewer fees. This meeting that they're discussing all these improvements is underway at City Hall Commission Chambers.
Elton John's farewell tour will be making a stop at the Fargo Dome. It will be part of the North American Stadium Tour. The Fargo show is slated for March 19th of 2022. That is actually a makeup date from June 13th of 2020. Elton will also be doing 2 back-to-back shows at the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul. Those shows run March 22nd and 23rd.
A 4th of July tradition is back this year in Moorhead. The Business Association of Moorhead today announcing details of the 48th annual Independence Day celebration. The launch location will be at Horizon Shores Park. The show will begin at sundown. Various parking options are available for $10 per vehicle, with the proceeds going to benefit various charities.
A nationally known ninja warrior is coming to Fargo. How you can meet him later on Valley News Live at 6.
Well, some very hot weather leading to a chance of some strong thunderstorms. That chance is greatest in north central Minnesota. We'll track thunderstorms rumbling through the valley right now, and we'll tell you how much relief is brought by the cool front heading our way next.